Hey guys, welcome to my channel Elemental Education. So today's video will be the second part of what we had in the previous video, electricity part 2. So if you haven't watched that video, I will suggest you please go to my channel, search for the first video, or else I'll give you the description. In the description box I'll give you the link. Just go there, watch it so that you can continue for this video. It will be easier for you to understand. So in this video, today's agenda will be we'll be going for Ohm's law and the relations between current and voltage, then the resistance of a conductor, how it is calculated. Then we'll be describing about the materials based on the resistance, how we have divided. We'll be going for the combination of resistance like series and parallel combinations. And finally we'll having one solution for one question. I'll be solving it for you. So before begin, let me tell you, we have already discussed about voltage, that is potential difference, and current. So these two are the important thing for our electricity chapter. So if you see, voltage and current, they are directly proportional. How? If I am drawing a VI graph, that is voltage across current, you will say the graph will be a straight line. That means if we are increasing the voltage, keeping rest all the parameters are constant. If you are increasing the voltage, then the current will also increase. Why? See, if I am keeping the load as constant, suppose the load I am keeping as constant, or a single 100 ohm resistance I am giving, voltage and current, if you increase the voltage, the current will increase. So this relationship describes Ohm's law. Then what is Ohm's law? Ohm's law says keeping temperature constant, keeping temperature constant, the current flowing across a conductor, is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends. That means if the current flowing is directly proportional, if I increase this voltage, if it is getting increased 2 times, the current will also increase by 2 times. If you are increasing the voltage by 4 times, the current flowing will be increased by 4 times. So if these two are directly proportional, V is directly proportional to I according to Ohm's law, then we can write like this: V equal to some constant into I. This is a constant of that conductor, of that material. This constant is called as resistance. What is resistance then? Resistance is the property of a material to oppose the flow of current. You must ask me, what makes a substance to oppose the flow of current? If you go for electron flow diagram in physics, if you see how electrons are flowing across a conductor, then you will know what makes the flow of current to be opposed, or what gives birth to resistance. What gives birth to resistance? Now this is a conductor AB. Suppose this is a conductor of some material AB. So there are electrons in it, and even it constitutes atoms and ions. Then if the electrons are coming from this side, because we are giving some potential difference, then this electron flowing through it will get bombarded with these atoms as well as some ions. So the flow won't be constant, it will get some resistance. That resistance is called resistance of this material. when some obstruction is there, because it cannot flow freely. It cannot flow freely because of already some atoms and ions are present. In the previous video, in the previous class, we have studied that electrons are easy to flow in a conductor. But in conductor also, we have some resistance. Why? Because in the conductor also there are some free electrons in it, and also there are some atoms and ions are in it. Free electrons contribute to the flow of electrons, flow of electricity. But ions and atoms, they get bombarded with these free electrons while flowing through it. That gives birth to resistance. So now, based on this understanding, we can divide the material broadly into three kinds. Three kinds of materials are there. One is conductors, another is resistors, and the last one is insulators. So, conductors, who are conductors? Resistance is low. Insulators, resistance is high. Then what is resistors? Resistors are such materials whose resistance fall in between conductors and insulators. Now, you can ask me, what are the examples of conductors, resistors and insulators? Conductors, we already know, silver, copper, aluminum. We broadly use copper for our electricity wires. We are using copper. Why we are not using silver? Silver is a very good conductor. Compared to copper, silver is very good conductor. It's costly. We cannot use it. It's not feasible. Similarly, aluminum are also used some cases. Now, if you go for insulators, we know everything like glass, wood, rubber, plastic, all these are insulators. Why? What is the purpose of having insulators? They protect us from getting electric shock. So insulators are used for insulating, like we are covering the copper wire, the electricity wire with some insulated wire cable we are giving. Similarly, we are having the globes, rubber globes for our electricity wiring or whenever we are doing some maintenance work. So insulators and conductors we know. Then what is resistors? Resistors are the materials who have higher resistance than conductors but lower than insulators. Having said that, there are some alloys like nichrome, manganese and constantan. So these three, so where resistances are used? So these materials are used to, when there is a resistance, right, it will give birth to some other energy. Like from electricity, if we want heat energy, we will use some coil. You might have seen there are some coils being used. These coils are made up of nichrome. Why? This material is having higher resistance. If it is having higher resistance and we are making coil out of it, then it will oppose the flow of current. That opposition will give birth to heat energy. Similarly, we are using in iron, we are using in geysers, all these appliances, they use some coil to produce heat energy. That coil is made up of these alloys, nichrome. Now, we know what is the use kind of materials based on resistance. Now we will go for resistivity. What is resistivity? So, from Ohm's law, we know V is equal to I and R. I is current, V is the voltage, or you can say potential difference. R is the resistance of a material. Resistance of material. Now, there is another relationship. That is, see, this resistance, right? This is not only dependent on these two, voltage and current. These two are current properties, right? like we can say voltage and current are not a material property, it's a current property or flow of electron property. But this resistance, suppose this is a wire AB, so this resistance, first there are 4 factors it will depend. First factor is length. So this is a material property, these are material property. So resistance depends on material property. Length, second is thickness, third is nature of material, fourth is temperature. Temperature is ambient property or constant, whatever you can say. Now see, mostly length of a material, if it is increasing, then resistance increases. Why? Suppose this is 1 meter. If I am passing 1 ampere of current in 1 meter of coil, 1 meter of wire, how much resistance it will experience? If I am passing in another 1 meter, then the resistance will high. Why? Because it will get the double of opposition. Resistance is opposition. If it is getting some opposition from here, from this material, atoms and ions present in this conductor, it will get more opposition if it passing through 2 meter of wire. So it is directly proportional. Resistance is directly proportional to length. Resistance is directly proportional to the length of conductor of a material. Similarly, thickness. If I am increasing the thickness, suppose first it was this much thick, 1 centimeter cross section. Now it is 2 centimeter. If this is 2 centimeter, then it is getting more space to travel. The same current, it is same number of electrons, they are getting more space to travel. So this is known as cross section is doubled. So if cross section is doubled, now resistance will be half. Resistance will be R by 2, half. Why? Because of course is getting more space to travel, double the space. So resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section, 1 by A. Nature of material. Nature of material is constant, because if I am taking copper, its nature cannot be changed, right? So the resistance, you can see there is a chart in your book, in your textbook. There resistance and resistivity details are giving for all the materials, copper, aluminium, all the materials, like even non-conductors are there, non-metallic materials are also there. Everything it is given there, you can refer that for the values. But to remember, copper has lower resistance. Now if it has lower resistance, if I am using copper wire across all my wiring, suppose in my wiring in my house I am using copper wire, I can increase the thickness or length, decrease or increase the thickness or length of the wire, but I cannot change the property of copper, right? So this thing is constant. Nature of material is constant in our example. If I am changing copper to aluminium, of course the resistance or resistivity will change. Now the temperature. Temperature is also constant. Suppose I am increasing the temperature, then the current flow will fluctuate. But I am not increasing the temperature. For all my experiments, I am keeping my temperature constant. In that case, we have concluded that this relation, resistance will have this relation, R equal to rho L by A. L is directly proportional to R, that is length of the material. Now we have seen R is inversely proportional to A, that is area of cross section. Then what is rho? Rho is again a constant between the relationship between these three things. Rho is called resistivity of the material. Resistivity or specific resistance. In physics we say it as specific resistance. Now we know what is resistance of a material. All these resistance we now know. So where resistors are used, where are we using this property of the material? Where resistors are used? Resistors are components actually. Resistors are resistance. The material which has higher resistance is known as resistor. So these are actually components. In my previous video I have said this is a constant resistor, this is a variable resistor. So where these are used, practical example you can see, these resistors are used in all the electronic components. You can see like chargers, mobile chargers or any in mobiles, everywhere in electronic component you are using here. Then what is this variable resistance? Where we are using it? This variable resistance is used as potentiometer, or it is called as potentiometer. We are using in fan regulator. In fan regulator, what we are doing? We are varying the current flow inside the fan. So how we are doing? We are doing before flowing into the fan, we are doing in the regulator, that is called voltage or current regulator. That is potentiometer, that is resistance. That's a variable resistance. It has 4 or 5 settings, high or low resistance. So this is the use of resistor in practical life. We are using all these things in our practical life. We should know how to calculate the equivalent resistance. What is equivalent resistance then? Suppose I am giving you 2 or 3 resistance or 4 or 5 resistors together. I'll tell you to make a circuit. If you are making a circuit by joining them together, they may be in parallel or series. Then I must say you to find the equivalent resistance. Now you see, if this is one resistance, this is another resistance, this is another resistance, I am giving a, this is another resistance, I am giving a potential difference across it. That means, suppose this is R1, R2, R3, like this it is connected. So this is a combination of series and parallel. So to find out the total equivalent resistance between point A and B, we have to know how they must be added up. The resistance are added up. So if it is a combination of parallel and series, first we should learn how to find series and then parallel, then the combination of both. Let us see what is a parallel connection or series connection. First I'll tell you about series connection of resistance. Series connection means one end of resistance is connected to another end. This is series connection. Guys, there is a tip for you. Always remember, when you are solving this kind of questions, series parallel connections, you should always draw the diagram and make the current flow through it. Make the current flow diagram. So it will be easier for you to find out which is a series connection, which is a parallel connection. So now you see, this is a voltage source. So this is point A, this is point B. Now, this current I is flowing across it. So the same I flows through it. What we knew now? Current is constant across the circuit. This is a series circuit. This is R1, this is R2 resistance. So in series circuit, what we found out? I equal to constant. Current is constant here. See, and voltage will drop is different. We'll find out in some other classes where we'll be solving the questions how the voltage get dropped in series connection. I'll tell you those in details while solving the questions. Let us first you understand current is constant here because we are more concentrating about current flow diagram. I is constant. Why? Because there is no other path for the current to flow. So it has to take this path only. Now, if I am taking this circuit, see, there are 3 resistances. Okay, I am giving a potential difference V across it. R1, R2, R3. In this case, the current I is flowing, suppose this current I is flowing across it. Now, when I reaches this point A, it has now 3 paths to flow across. So it will take 3 paths. The current will get divided. I1, I2, I3. So these 3 resistance are in parallel. That is why the current gets dropped. In parallel connection, in parallel, what happens? I is dropped or divided. But voltage is constant. Why? See, it's a common point. The voltage for this point, these 3 points, voltage is same. But the current gets divided. Again in point B, this I1, I2, I3 will meet together to form one single current, that is I. Understood this? Now we'll go for one numerical, it will be clear for you. See, so guys, we have to check how many resistors are connected in this circuit. See, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are some 6 resistors in the circuit. They are both in parallel and series connection. So, when we have to find the R equivalent or the equivalent resistance across these 2 points A and B, where we will be giving the voltage. So, we have to first draw the current flow diagram. See, what is the current flow diagram? We have to first see how the current will flow if you are giving a potential difference across this point A and B. This is the current I is flowing, I. So if these points you are giving some names, P, Q, R, S, then this I is getting splitted to I1, this is I2. Similarly, if you see this I is flowing till here, Q, and again the same I is flowing, I1 is flowing through these 3 resistances. And again here this I1 plus I2, they are getting together to form I. So this current flow is this way. So how the approach will be? Always remember, when you are finding the equivalent resistance of any circuit, always approach from the back side. So see, these 3 resistances are in series. How? We will see this I1 is constant through this. I1 is flowing through this because I1 is not getting divided. We know when there is a parallel connection, any current is getting splitted up. But in a series connection, the current will be constant. So now we will draw equivalent circuit of this one. We have to draw another equivalent circuit. This is 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm. This is the R equivalent. So this is point A and B. This point A and this is point B. Now these 3 are in series. So what is the formula for series connection R equivalent? R equivalent at this point, summation of these 3, R equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. We have formula. Now it will be 3 ohm. R is 3 ohm. We know the SI unit of resistance is ohm or omega, this symbol. Now you see it is 3 ohm. So we can write here is 3 ohm. Again same scenario you see here. This current is getting splitted up here and here. We know this is I1, this is I2. So if this is I1, this is I2, then these 2 resistances, they are in parallel because the current is getting splitted up. So equivalent circuit for this will be, see, like this, 1 ohm, this is 1 ohm, this is point A, this is point B. So this equivalent resistance will be 1 ohm parallel to 3 ohm. What is the formula then? 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by 1 ohm plus 1 by 3 ohm. 1 by 1 ohm, this is 3 ohm. These 2 are parallel now. So 3 by 3 plus 1, that is 4. 4 by 3 R equivalent. Then R equivalent will be 3 by 4 ohm. So we found out this is 3 by 4 ohm. 3 by 4 ohm. Now again I have to draw the final diagram. See, always we have to draw diagrams to shorten the circuit so that we can solve it easily. Now you see, next diagram will be, we have solved till here. Now it is this one and this one. This is 3 by 4 ohm. This is point A and B. This is I. So now I is flowing across these 3. It is same as the first condition. See, in this first condition we have same current flowing across these three resistances. Similarly, it is three resistances, same current is flowing. So this I is constant. If I is constant, these three are in series. So 1 ohm plus 1 ohm plus 3 by 4 ohm are equivalent. So it is final. Total R equivalent will be this. If you solve this, 1 plus 1 plus 2 means 2 plus 3 by 4. This is, if you taking 8, 4 to 8, 8 plus 3 by 4, that is 11 by 4 ohm. 8 by 4, 8 plus 3 by 4, it is 11 by 4 ohm. That is almost close to 2.9 or something around 3 ohm. So this is the way you should solve the equation. So to summarize this, how to approach, total 4 steps you have to follow, guys. See, first step is draw diagram with current flow diagram you have to draw. Second step is always approach the circuit from back side, approach from back. Third is find out the each parallel or series connection, then you should draw the equivalent resistance in each diagram. Like you have to shorten the circuit. Okay, equivalent diagram you have to draw. Fourth is put formula and find answer. So these 4 steps you will use it. You won't get this kind of steps in your book. If you go to NCERT book, they will directly give you this kind of questions. They will tell you the formulas and they will just solve with the answer. You won't get this kind of steps. This will be making you easier to solve the questions. So now you see, we have studied Ohm's law, that is the the relationship between current and voltage, combination of resistances, types of material, what is resistance, what is resistivity, what is rho. So I'll be giving you all these notes in the end of this video. So please go through the video. If you have not taken the video 1, you have not seen the video 1, I have given you the link in the description of my video. Just click on that, watch that video completely. You will have a complete understanding on what is electricity. Then you go for this one. I will be making one more video on part 3 for this theory, and next will be going for all the questions and numericals for this chapter, electricity. So guys, I request you to go and subscribe my channel. Immediately you will be getting the notification for new videos. Like, share and subscribe. That is all for today. Thank you and bye-bye.